All right, man. First episode of Six Packs and Racks. You ready?
You bet. Let's do it.
Let's introduce ourselves. I'm Josh Smith from Wild Carrot. Spitzley.
Scott Spitzley from Non-Typical Productions.
Alex Comstock from Whitetail DNA.
That's good.
I am Mike Mansell from the Breaking Point TV.
JP or Aaron from the Breaking Point.
Brennan Nading, also with the Breaking Point.
All right, guys. This is just going to be a fun podcast. We're going to kind of concentrate on hunting industry stuff, but also personal stuff like what we're up to in our own lives and kind of tie it all together. And it's just going to be a good time with some friends hanging out, and hopefully we'll all enjoy it. We're going to basically follow a format of segments with each episode that we do, loosely. We've got a little bit of a variety of segments that we're going to throw in here and there. So some will be repeated every week and some won't. But we'll always have a couple consistent ones, including our opening segment of every podcast, which we'll start with right now, which is just general BS. What have you guys been up to? Spitzley, what have you been up to this week? I know it's only Monday, but
Rough editing. It's
rough
editing
editing.
season.
Been outside or just sitting at desk?
Sitting at desk, getting fat, man. Drinking beers. It's the only way to do it. The whole fall I had been filming for a couple shows, and right now I'm just rough editing. And here coming up in the next couple months, I'll be going on some trips for turkey season, and I'm looking forward to that as well. So.
Excellent. By the way, man, where are you from? Where are you living?
Live in Michigan. Right now I reside in Grand Rapids, Michigan. From a small town called Sheridan, Michigan. But yeah.
What's your street address?
Got my social security number too.
Perfect. Comstock, what about you, man? What have you been up to lately?
Yeah, I did 3 days of shed hunting the last few days, put on about 15 miles on the boots. Only a couple little dinks to show for it. There's up here, I'm in Duluth, Minnesota, and there's, I'd say probably 70% of the bucks are still holding though. So yeah, so it's saw a lot of rack bucks and got a lot of bucks on camera still, but still thought I'd give her a try. So that's what I know.
Excellent. JP?
I'm up at Mike's actually. We just got done editing some stuff, but the last 2 weeks I've been sturgeon spearing actually. So kind of a different sport than a lot of people know about, but keeps me busy and it's boring as hell.
Where are you living?
I live in Neenah, Wisconsin. So
Where you been
central
spearing?
eastern part about the state. Sturgeon, right there, 5 minutes away. On Lake Winnebago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Any success?
No. Everybody around me, I got 3 buddies that speared fish within 100 yards of me, but I didn't see anything all week. So it is
Should have
what
went
it is.
with the hunt in public, man.
Did they get one?
Do they
I don't
spear?
know. Oh, they did get one?
Jake got one. I think it was Jake. Yeah.
Nice. They
A
get it on
monster.
video?
Yeah.
Nice. That's sweet.
Yeah. They don't make mistakes. Mansell, what about you, man?
I am just working in the office here lately, working on our new season of Breaking Spring coming out here and closing in on a month. And then from that, be working on the Breaking Point shows for a solid 2-3 months during turkey season and everything else. Other than that, we've been the shed hunting's been kind of on a standstill around here. Most of Wisconsin got hit with, 4 or 5 inches up around here within the last week. So I was out a couple times before then, found a couple sheds around here. We were out in North Dakota doing some coyote hunting here 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And we did a little bit of shed hunting out there as well. And we're actually me and Brennan headed back out this weekend to do some shed hunting and stuff like that. So
Side note, we suck at coyote hunting. Mike did get one though.
I made the best shot of my life coyote hunting, so
What are you guys using for weapon?
They were
Okay.
they were ARs. I don't even know what caliber they were. 223s maybe.
Yeah, they were 223s.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what make or anything they were though. They were just a couple guns that we got from some buddies here. We're doing a piece for Vortex Optics, so set some scopes up and went out there and got some content for them. So that was just a little side project we were working on. So
They do anything with thermal Vortex?
I don't think they do.
I don't believe so right now. But,
That's a big hot topic around here.
oh, really?
I'm just outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, and currently it's not legal to hunt at night, so it's not as much of an issue. But I know the locals that are big into predator hunting have a hard time with that. They're fighting to get that legalized for night hunting.
Gotcha.
B?
I am sitting in a McDonald's in western Wisconsin right now, kind of floating back and forth between my place in Iowa and then my family's all up here in Wisconsin, and it puts me closer to Mike and Dylan too. So currently in Wisconsin, but I'll be heading to North Dakota in a few days with Mike to do some shed hunting, and probably be doing a lot of shed hunting in the next month and a half all over. So
Good
that's
deal,
what I'm
man.
up to.
Good deal.
What about you,
What about
Josh?
your new lady? Where's she living?
She lives in about an hour from Mike, or hour and a half from Mike, pretty much in the central part of the state, down towards Madison.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Lately, I have been working like a dog. My my boys are getting big into squirrel hunting, so we'll probably try and creep out and see what we can do there here shortly. My younger son got a squirrel call for Christmas, so he's been tearing that up in the yard and having fun with it, man. But I haven't done any shed hunting. I think nobody's dropped yet here. It's tough shed hunting where I live because it's so thick anyway. So I'm waiting. I keep thinking about going out every weekend, but I'll probably wait like 1 or 2 more weeks and then get out quite a bit. Take my boys out, just wander. There's a lot of good public land that's not huntable, but it's public access. It's all TVA property that's hydroelectric, so you can't hunt it, but you can get out there and wander, and not a lot of people do. So I've got some good spots that I'm looking forward to hitting for sheds, because I think I might come on something that nobody's come into yet. So
Nice.
we'll see.
You have snow down there?
We had 2 good snow days this year, and we got a couple inches, and it was melted by about noon, but just enough for the kids to get out and play.
What about you, Comstock? You got any snow?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
like
a little bit. We actually haven't had any snow for a couple weeks, so that's been nice. It's been a little break, so hopefully it stays that way. As still can't see. There's snowbanks at the end of the driveway, still good 7-8 feet tall. So
You haven't gotten, I was going to say, you haven't got any snow, or there isn't any snow?
we haven't gotten any snow in the last couple weeks. We have plenty.
Well, this kind of ties together what will be another segment that we do that we call Hitting the Scrape, which is just where we kind of connect and touch base on what we've been up to. Our opening segment of general BS kind of bled into that on this episode. So I'm not going to cover that one again because we kind of did both of them just now. Next, we got a segment that we call Send It or Save It, where we will touch on a subject or product or method or current event and give you our personal opinions. Is the subject or product in question worth sending a shot, or should you save it for another opportunity? This week, we'll kind of pick up on the conversation we were just having. I want to talk about some early shed hunting. Obviously, you guys have all been doing it, so I kind of have an idea of your opinion and your thoughts. But let's all go through a little bit more in depth on what your practices are this early in the year. Like, are you out? I know you guys, some of you are, but are you finding anything? Is it anything of this year, or is it all old sheds? That kind of thing. Spitzley, you been out at all?
You know, I actually wait until at least the first snow melt or in March. Um, I find that not more than 50% of the bucks drop their antlers um, in this month, so I normally wait. I don't want to bump them off my property. I guess that's my intake. I don't really know. I mean, it's just my philosophy, I guess. But um, on my lease, there aren't many deer that spend time on it. It's more of a river bottom with ag surrounded by it. They do travel through there, however. I just feel like if I were to go in there right now, it would just bump them out and make them not come back for me to find their antlers. So I typically wait until March or first snow melt in March.
Comstock, I know you said you've been out and you found a couple of dinks. Were they this year's?
Yeah, so like where I shed hunt's pretty unique because I mean, as far as not being able to shed hunt in snow, if I wanted to wait till the snow melted, I wouldn't go out till about May. And where I shed hunt, there's a lot of shed hunting pressure, so I typically got to find them kind of as they fall almost. Because if I'm not out, if I take a week where I'm not out, there's sheds that could be dropped and picked up easily within that week. There's probably more people that shed hunt in my areas than actually hunt. And so what I like to do is just monitor things through cameras, and I'm just trying to be out there all the time, looking for deer. Like I said, with pictures and stuff, there's a lot of deer that are still holding right now. So I got a couple of cell cams out that are trying to monitor things. So hopefully I can get pictures of, all of a sudden half rackers or, bucks that have shed and kind of get out there right away. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
What about you, Mansell?
I've been just pretty much hanging tight right now. I was out a few walks here a couple weeks back, but we had a good probably a week and a half, 2 week stretch where we didn't get snow in Wisconsin, and this is really, I would say, my first year. I've really been doing a lot more walking than normal, getting into shed hunting, and I had some pretty good luck the first couple walks, just finding some sheds. But with this last snow, that was pretty much on public land. With this last snow, I've pretty much just been back in the office waiting for things to kind of melt down a little bit. We're actually supposed to get another like 3-4 inches of snow here today. So I don't really plan on walking in as far as Wisconsin goes for probably at least a week or so. But from what I've seen, we got a pretty decent sized deer herd around by our house that that I got permission from neighboring landowners to walk property, and the majority of the deer that we've seen are still holding their antlers. So not really too eager to get out and walk these until all the snow's gone. But I will probably once we start losing a little bit more snow, I'll get out and walk some more public. And I really haven't seen, with some of the public I've walked, haven't really seen a ton of pressure. A couple pieces had people tracks, snowshoe tracks, things like that, a couple weeks back. But once I got 50 to 75 yards away from a cornfield, there was nothing, all the way back in through the timber. So I think I'll still do decent on public in some of the spots I have been keeping my eye on. So
How about you, JP?
I have yet to be out. I haven't even started
Strictly
walking
sturgeon?
yet. Yeah, pretty much. I've been on the sturgeon grind for the last 2 weeks. But I haven't been out yet, but I only live about 50 minutes from Mike, so pretty much same scenario. We got about 8 inches, I don't know, 5-6 days ago, and we're supposed to get another 3 to 5 tonight. So really doesn't, the way I look at it, doesn't pay for me to start walking yet. Just too much snow, and we're getting it every couple of days too. So there's not a big window there to really find any, the way I look at it. Yeah, so I haven't even gotten into my properties. I do have a property in northern Wisconsin, probably only 2 hours from Comstock there. So I'm trying to get up there to probably be early. We just got it logged last year, so I'm hoping that the deer were in there thick this year, feeding on the tops. So that'll be interesting to get out and walk that. But again, there's over 2 feet of snow there, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. But other than that, I haven't been out yet, so can't see too much.
There is a property 15 minutes from my house that I was spending a lot of time filming Aaron last fall, and there has been some deer. I actually drove did a lap around it this last week just to scout it out. And there was some deer in one of the cut cornfields where we were hunting by. We ran cameras in there till close to end of season, I would say. And there was a few decent bucks that we were after this fall that made it through. So we do have plans to walk that. But I don't see, there wasn't a single boot track anyone going in there, so we're not really going to push it quite yet. We'll wait till the snow melts before we go in there. And it'll be kind of a combination of shed hunting / there's some pieces of this MFL property that we want to do some scouting on too. So we'll be hopefully picking antlers up when we go in there.
What's your shed hunting been like so far, B?
It's starting to pick up. Pretty much just been hitting. What are you laughing at, Spitzley?
Because I know you found sheds, bud.
Oh, no.
We're over here finding nothing in little sheds, and I've seen the sheds you found already.
Yeah, just hitting public land right now. A lot of public land. And reason being is Iowa gets just absolutely pounded, mostly because of social media. But there's people all over the public land right now, and if you're not picking them up, like Comstock was saying, if you're not picking them up as they're falling, you're not going to pick them up. So that's pretty much what I've been doing, just hitting public land in Iowa. Mike and I did a little bit of walking in North Dakota, found some. I haven't even walked in Wisconsin. It's buried in snow right now, and watching snow come down as we speak. So Mike and I are going back to North Dakota, hopefully pick some more up here this weekend, and then really going to start hammering Iowa hard. Private land at the end of the month, and March will be crazy between North Dakota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Kansas. So, yeah.
What you guys should come down here where I'm at, because there's absolutely zero competition for shed hunting. I'm like, I don't know anybody around. Like, you don't see anybody out on public land or anything looking for sheds around me. But
I mean, is the deer population good? Are there like quality 120, 130 inch deer running around, or?
no, I mean there are. But
that's why the pressure ain't bad.
They're out there though. They're just not as common as they are up there where you're at.
You know, finding sheds
it.
like this is fun too. So
yeah, right,
it's hard.
Right.
It's hard. Like even when I moved down to Iowa, like when I lived in Wisconsin, my goal every year was to find 20 antlers, and that's a feat. If you can find 20 antlers in a year in Wisconsin, that's pretty good, considering how big the timber is and all that. I mean, Iowa, you can't even really compare it to anywhere else besides like maybe Kansas. But I mean, I get where you're coming from. I can only imagine how hard it is to find sheds down where you're at. Like, it's tough.
Yeah, but honestly, without the pressure, I'm kind of excited. It's never really been something I've gotten into much. You know, it's between the populations of critters that eat them that we have, because we don't get the cold freezes like you guys do. So our rodent population is probably significantly bigger, you know, so they don't last as long. They get chewed up a little faster, I think. So that kind of plays into it too. But we do have some good bucks. I mean, I found a pretty nice buck that someone had shot this year that was bigger than I expected to find on the property I was on. So it's stuff like that gets me a little more motivated to get out there and see what I can find.
Oh, yeah.
And it's never
you never know.
a bad day. It's never a bad day to take a walk in the woods, especially with your kids. You know,
Damn right.
They love it. So probably stop and build some kind of survival hut while we're out there.
Gotta.
They're big into that right now, man. But
awesome.
What are you guys' thoughts on coyotes and sheds? Have you read about any of this, or have you seen this in action at all? I've noticed a couple of articles that I've seen pop up recently where they talk about coyotes hauling sheds off like a dog would a bone.
Yep. I found several that have teeth marks on them, and they're just one good example. I was walking a winter wheat field in Kansas last year, and there was this big 4-point antler laying right out in the middle of this winter wheat, and it was an antler that was probably 2 years old, So you can't tell me it was laying in that winter wheat field. It wasn't turned over by a tractor. It was carried out there and dropped in the middle of the field. So you got to assume coyotes are doing that all the time, just like a dog would.
Yeah. Seems crazy to me.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Have you ever found any by like a den site or anything in the past?
I can't say I have no. But I guess I'm not usually looking. Don't worry about it.
That's so cooler.
No, it's mellow yellow.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up our send it or save it segment. Obviously, for early shed hunting, we kind of have a little bit of mixed review. Mostly looks like dependent on properties that you're able to go shed hunt and your location. Like for Spitzley, he doesn't want to bump deer, so he's waiting. I'm waiting because nothing's dropped yet down here. So it just kind of depends on where you're at and what your situation is. But for the most part, don't be afraid to get out, right? That's kind of the opinion I hear. Yeah. Don't be afraid to get out and cruise around especially if you're on public land where you're not worried about kicking deer up.
For sure.
Get out there and see what you can find. So next for our last special segment of this episode, we call Blood Trails. And this pertains to goals that we have. These are our goals for the immediate future. Popular this time of year, turkeys, sheds, property management. What are we doing along these blood trails to make sure we reach our desired end? For me personally, I'll start us off. My big blood trail right now doesn't have anything to do with hunting. My family and I are moving. You guys know, we sold our house in Knoxville and used that to start Wild Carrot. So we've been renting, but we have decided recently that we want to build, and we may not be able to do that in the immediate future. So what we are going to do, we're looking for a camper right now that we're going to buy, and we're going to look for a piece of property that we can park it on while I pick away at personally building us a house. And in the meantime, we're going to do a lot of traveling, use that mobility to our advantage, come up and see a lot of you guys, go see some family. My family always does a trip to Florida Keys to do some mahi fishing and lobster diving and that kind of thing. So we'll probably try and swing that as well, and just sort of use this season as a way to kind of take in some adventures. So that's what I'm working toward right now as far as a personal goal of mine, just to kind of move into more of a minimalist type of lifestyle. And that way I can free us up to get my kids and wife out and see what the world has to offer, basically.
That's pretty cool, man.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Wow. We're excited, man. It's obviously, there's a lot of unknown that we're diving into, and we have 4 kids, so 6 people in a camper, I imagine, is going to be a shit show. But I'm excited. My wife is on board big time. She's excited about it, and I never imagined that she would be cool with it. So that's a big step. The kids are all excited. It's just an adventure for them. They're not worried about anything other than what we're going to do, where we're going to go. So it's going to be cool. I think it'll be fun. And we kind of always wanted to travel a little bit and are apprehensive because obviously how do we afford it? But my day job will allow us to kind of take time off sporadically and come back and go back to work. So that's very beneficial. And we kind of just came to the conclusion of why not now? They're young, kids are young. Now's the best time to get out and imprint on them that adventure lifestyle that we all live while they're still young, so that they grow up and value that,
For sure.
Spitzley, what about you? Follow that up, Biatch.
I can't follow that up. Yeah, my goals this season is to find a lot of sheds and get a turkey.
Perfect, man. That's part of my goal too. Planning on coming up. I'm going to come up and turkey hunt with Brendan and Mike and JP. Probably Comstock. You're going to be there?
Yep, I'll be there.
Dylan?
Yeah.
So that's part of it too, man. Taking in some hunting while we're at it. Where are you turkey hunting this year, Spitz?
Michigan. Yep. I'll be turkey hunting in Michigan, I've been doing a lot more filming / calling rather than the actual turkey hunt. Been trying to get my fiance on a turkey. We had some luck last year. We doubled up. My daughter, she's 11 years old. Actually, she shot her first turkey. This was actually 2 years ago when she did that. So my goal this season, I guess, would be for her to get her second turkey this season and find a lot of sheds, get some rough editing done, film some shows, and that's about it, man.
What about
Sorry,
you, Comstock?
My goal this year with shed hunting anyway is to I want to find 30 antlers this year. Last year I found the most that I'd found in a year at like I think 22. So I'm just trying to put on, for me it's just about getting out there and walking more miles. I need to walk a lot more. So trying to put on as many miles as I can this year. See if I can beat B this year.
Good luck.
Yeah, not gonna happen unless I go down to Iowa. But yeah, just pretty much that. Hopefully find a bunch when I'm out in North Dakota. I'll go out there a couple times every spring, and then just really focus on growing my business in the immediate future to try, as we approach summer and fall, to try to allow myself as much time out in the woods this year. So pretty much my immediate plans.
Good deal, man. Mansell, what about you?
I would say short-term goals. From the shed hunting side, I kind of set the bar high this year, I would say. In my first year is really taking shed hunting serious. I wanted to see if I could get 50 sheds in a season. Don't know if I will make that at all. Brennan's already laughing because he knows I won't. But I got 4.
You just gotta go to Brennan's
You can do
house
anything
and
you
steal
set
them.
your mind to.
Hey, you got to shoot high, right?
I got 4 so far, so I got a ways to go, but I'm making progress. Was doing good until we got all the snow here. But hopefully we can scoop some more this weekend in North Dakota, and we got to do some work down on our leases and our old lease here in Kansas, and we're looking at a new one here coming up in March. So we're hoping to do a little shed hunting down there, and then maybe get down to Iowa as well, in between all that. But long term, I would say stuff's really not quite set yet for my fall. One of my big goals this year, I'm trying to line up an elk hunt in Colorado. Trying to go to an area that I actually went with my family when I graduated in high school back in 2006. We did some scouting out there in the summer. And it was just an awesome experience. I was out there for like a week and a half, 2 weeks with them. I got to see a pile of elk, mule deer, all sorts of stuff. And it's just been kind of a dream to get back there and do that again. And I've been talking with my cousin about potentially doing it because one of my cousins I used to do almost all my hunting with in the past. And it's been years since we got into doing a lot of filming and stuff. It's been years since I've gone on a hunt with him. So just doing that and sharing some memories with him again, that's 2 of my big goals this year. Along with, I'm going to be drawing an Iowa tag this year too. So that's always fun. But
No joke.
really all I got.
That's cool, man. What about you, JP?
I'd say for blood trails, one of the near future has nothing to do with shed hunting. Because honestly, I don't get into shed hunting too crazy. I mean, I'll do it just nice days, get out and walk. But this year is our first year doing trade shows. So that's one of our big goals, is to have a successful trade show season. Because obviously it's our first one, so we don't know what we're diving into. But I've been working, trying to get all our apparel lined up. We're coming out with a huge new line of apparel, trying to get all that ordered. We're going to be at the Iowa Deer Classic in 17 days. So it's kind of all just in a hurry to get everything done and get the booth and the trailer and all that stuff and get down there. So that's probably one of my things I've been thinking about a lot lately, is just making sure that's all dialed in. And then obviously that'll roll into turkey hunting, and I mean the next couple months is gonna be crazy. But one of my long-term goals is I haven't killed a mule deer yet, so that's what I want to do, is get out get out west a little farther and try and do that. So it'll either be, it's looking like North Dakota or South Dakota, but I'm going to probably try and put in for North Dakota tag and hopefully pull that. And each year I try and hunt a new state, and it won't be a new state, but it'd be a new species. But I should pull for Kansas this year, and that would be a new state for me. I haven't hunted Kansas. I've been down there numerous times with the guys filming, but so yeah, that's probably my long-term goals is to try and tackle those two things. But like I said, trade show season I think is going to be a blast. I know we're going to see you, Josh, at a couple of them, so that'll be fun, and probably Comstock too. So just being there and BSing with everybody is going to be fun. So.
What are you guys doing? I know you said the Iowa Deer Classic is in 17 days, and then I know you're in Madison at the Outdoor Life.
Yep. We're
in about
doing
6 weeks. What else you got?
We're doing the one in Ohio also, Columbus, Ohio. That's I think like the 20th or 21st of March. So we got Iowa, Ohio, and then we do deer and turkey in Madison, Wisconsin, and then the last weekend in July we're doing Deer Fest in Wisconsin, West Bend, Wisconsin. So those are the 4 that we're going to. This is our first year doing it, so we'll see how it goes, but we're excited about it.
Those are good ones.
Yeah, we kind of picked them just from how people talk that have been in the shows, and the ones that happen to be talked well about are not terribly far for us to travel to, so that works out good too. So
yeah, no joke. So what about your blood trail, man? What do you got, B?
Shed hunting here, and we're talking to a lot of the partners and clients that we work with as far as nailing down, what 2020 looks like exactly, kind of what they're expecting from us, what we're expecting from them. Just trying to nail all that stuff down, and really shed hunting will carry us into the shows, and then that'll overlap with shed hunting some more, and then that'll go right into turkey season. So pretty crazy. And I know I'm not grinding like Mike and Dylan are right now with them guys sitting on the computers. I know the hours those guys are putting in, so it's a busy time of year for sure, even though we're not in the woods hunting right now.
Yeah. No off season.
No. Definitely not.
A lot of people that aren't in the hunting industry think it's all you sit in front of a camera for 5 months out of the year and the rest of the year's fine and dandy, but there's a lot of other behind the scenes stuff that goes into being involved in what we do that people don't know about. So
Amen.
It takes a lot more than just a love of hunting, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
But it's still something we love to do. So you know what I mean?
Sure.
That's
Right.
I still enjoy it, even though there's a lot of work involved around it. I still enjoyed, rather than going to a, 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job in the office. I still enjoy doing this stuff. So, but there is a lot to it. And I learned that the hard way this year. That's the first year I've actually been working in the industry, and there's a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears. That's for sure. Once you pick up that camera, it's the moment you wake up, you ain't going to bed until almost midnight because you're filming, you're dropping footage, you're doing some editing there, and there's a lot of work involved.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's one thing that a lot of
That's probably why
not
JP looks so pissed off.
Yeah, because I'm getting roped into doing that stuff.
I think that's a lot, just kind of what Scott mentioned. A lot of people that aren't in the hunting industry don't realize is even when we're out in the field filming, it's, you're not just filming during the day, you're trying to edit photos in the meantime. Brennan, for example, is posting to our social media throughout the whole fall. So you're trying to manage all that inside of hunting and everything else too. So it's a nonstop process, especially that time of year.
You hear a lot of people too. It's like, oh, that must be nice. You guys get to hunt for a living. Well, yeah, we do, but not really. I mean, there's a lot behind that people don't get to see. Like Mike and Dylan sitting at a computer, 6 days out of the week, 7 days out of the week, right about this time when we don't have to be traveling. So that's the side they don't see.
Well, I think what a lot of people don't realize too is like, I mean, yeah, we're all producing hunting content, but we're all producing content outside of the hunting world as well. And, you know, I just went full time on my own last March. It's only been whatever, 11 months or so, and, you know, like I work way more than I did when I had a 9 to 5, but not a day that goes by that I'd want that job back, you know? So.
Yeah.
Exactly. Another thing too I want to mention is I don't think people realize how much pressure is on ourselves too. There's a lot of pressure behind that camera. And it's not just like, you know, the people view the hunter's perspective, you know, them sitting in a tree and shooting deer. Well, there's a lot of things that we need to keep an eye out on as far as, you know, camera settings and stuff like that, and just keeping everything in focus. There's a lot more to it than people think, and a lot more pressure
It's,
on you than
yeah.
people
It's
think.
not like filming a TV show where you can redo anything. It's gotta, when it does go down, you have to be ready for it because you're only going to get one chance at it.
Exactly.
That's just part of the pressure too. I mean, that's one facet, but you also have all the pressure of doing something for yourself. I mean, the pressure that you have when you're out on your own and in charge of your own future is immense. Like when you're making your own schedule, having to self-motivate, all those things that a lot of people don't relate to. It's there's a lot of freedom, but that freedom comes at a cost.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
All right, guys. Well, that's good for blood trails. And this next segment will be our closing segment on every episode. And this one we call Cracking Cold Ones. So, B, this one's for you.
I'm gonna spit
This
into
is-
mine.
Yeah, Mike
This segment is
supply
just-
any beer, so I don't have one.
It's just a cheers to the week ahead. Just thank you guys for coming together and preparing for the podcast and thinking things through ahead of time and organizing everything. So here's to us.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Spitzley, are
Well,
you
guys-
drinking banquets?
No, it's
KBS.
Oh, nice. Thought it was a stubby.
We appreciate everybody for tuning in, listening, watching, whatever you're doing. We're glad to have you paying attention to whatever nonsense we have going on. This hopefully will give everybody a good behind-the-scenes look at who we are, what we do, and our small window into the hunting world. So hopefully you tune in next time. Thanks.